Hey, community members, Melanie Meren here with my dog Lola. She just can't get enough of local government. And I want to talk about education funding, especially today in these times when the federal government has been very unpredictable and chaotic. I'm asked, what's the impact on cutting federal education funding? Well, the irony is that traditionally federal funding only accounts for 7% of a local school division's funding. So the money, although we would not want to lose it, is not as dire as it could be if it were local funding, because it's the local funding that really provides us with the most money. But at the federal level, I think one of the biggest impacts is the morale on teachers and staff, seeing the President of the United States not supporting public education and knowing that there's already a national teacher shortage and a lot of criticism of public education really takes a toll on teachers. So that's one thing. But the money is definitely, we have federal dollars, and if those are, say, given to the state government, our governor to distribute, we also have a governor who is not supportive of public education. So the risk there is that all that money, about $150 million right now, would go to the governor for him to disperse locally as he sees fit, which means it might not even come to us. Regarding state funding, I do want to say a huge problem for Fairfax County and a lot of Virginia, actually every single jurisdiction of Virginia, is that the state government of Virginia chronically underfunds public education. Now, we who work in this have known this for a long time, but it was proven clearly in a report released by the state in 2023. It's called the J-LARC report, and it shows without a doubt that nearly all of the funding formulas that get money from the state to the school divisions are wrong. They are antiquated and they don't account for the real cost of education. Now, in Fairfax County, though, we do support our public schools. So we are paying extra to the tune of $500 million more every year. That's what the state should be providing just to get us to the national average. But we don't want to be average, so we actually pay even more than that locally, which puts a huge burden on us as taxpayers, and especially homeowners who pay the real estate tax. But again, local, talking about real estate tax, that is established by the Board of Supervisors. Now, Virginia is different than other places. If you lived elsewhere, like I did growing up in New York, where the school board proposed a budget and the public would vote on that school board's budget, and it'd vote up or down. That's not how it works here in Virginia. In Virginia, there's a county board of supervisors who have the taxing authority, and they're the ones that will set your tax rate on your real estate, whether we have a food and beverage tax, also known as a meals tax. There's also car and commercial, but it's that board of supervisors that has that authority. And then the school board that I'm on approves a proposed budget to the county supervisors saying this is what our executive, our superintendent of schools, is telling us is needed to run a fully functional and excellent school division, okay? So the board of supervisors has the money, the school board asks for a certain amount, and then hopefully this board of supervisors transfers that amount over to the school board. And then we decide how to spend that money, but we do not raise that money ourselves, okay? We have to ask for that transfer. So the professional who runs our schools, Dr. Michelle Reed, has proposed a budget that, in her professional opinion, is what's needed to continue to try and maintain the caliber of our schools, even improve it. She's considered the lack of revenue and the state underfunding. So she's not going overboard and asking for what she knows is not available. She has considered the employment market for teachers. Currently, teachers can earn tens of thousands of dollars elsewhere because of those state funding formulas that really disadvantage us in Fairfax, but say in Loudoun and Prince William next door, they can make a lot more money. So some teachers have been staying in Fairfax because they know it's a great place to work, but now where teachers and school staff are sometimes the breadwinner because their spouse has lost their federal related job, those teachers are going to be looking for the biggest amount of money. And if we don't pay them, no matter how much they like Fairfax, if they could get paid next door in another county, they're going to go. Trust me when I tell you, they're going to go if they don't make more money and if they face another real estate tax increase. Our superintendent has considered that the needs of students have changed. We have more students with identified special needs, which is good because that means that we can help them, but it just takes more resources. We also have a lot more students living in poverty. 1/3 of our student population in Fairfax County, 1/3 of those kiddos are eligible for federal meals support, which again are at risk of being cut. So that's 66,000 students. So students in poverty, we know, require more supports, and our schools do so much for our children, more than just instruct them. And finally, the budget that the superintendent's proposed, it's not including new initiative. So it's not including things like decreasing class size, which is something I've advocated for years. It's not including expanding world language instruction to every elementary school, which we currently don't have, which is just horrible. It's not changing the middle school start times and all sorts of other initiatives. This budget is really the bare bones of what's needed if we want to keep experienced teachers in our classrooms for our students. So the school board did approve the proposed budget from the superintendent, and it's now over on the side with the Board of Supervisors. So the Board of Supervisors has said that they will not fully fund this budget. And really what that leads me to wonder is, do we trust our superintendent of schools? Do we support the superintendent in the recommendation she is making for the success of our public school system, our children, and the employees? FCPS is the largest employer in Fairfax County. We're also the most stable right now. So I can tell you, and you can look for yourself, it's all publicly available, that the FCPS proposed budget is justified. It shows savings over time. It shows where we are in salary compensation in the region. It shows rising costs. And I'm not even going to mention facilities, which is a whole nother thing that is really chronically underfunded in Fairfax County. But I have to say, I have not seen similar justifications and valuing made by the county executive for the Fairfax Board of Supervisors for not meeting the budget request. There's not a real reason why we are not going to receive these funds other than it's not available. I believe that work can be done to free up that money from elsewhere in the county without having a real estate tax increase. So I hope that helped you advocate. You can speak to whatever you'd like when you're advocating, but that's a little bit about education funding and here in Fairfax County.